Sue Ellen. Thanks for the message. I appreciate it. 2 left in 2 minutes. Gail of Sioux City. Will your future campaign ads tell the public that Vilsack lives in D.C. now and her accomplishments to qualify her for the job are non-existent? I, for one, am sick of hearing what a soulless person you are in her ads. I think they will backfire on her. Well, I believe strongly that I have a soul. I actually believe that Christie Vilsack has a soul. I just don't know what she believes in. And if anybody saw the Iowa Press interview where for 30 minutes she failed to answer a question and believes that, that it is ridiculous to talk about people that are in Iowa and across this country aborting little girls just because they're baby girls and they want a boy and they don't want to raise a little girl, that, I think, is a vacuous situation. And I'd like to hear her answer when her life began. Yours and mine began at the instant of conception. So we will try to get the message out there accurately. Last question in the last minute is from Cliff. And Cliff from Spirit Lake asks this question. What is the status of tax reform? Each year our tax returns become more complex and not everyone pays. Would this not solve a lot of problems by doing away with the IRS and instituting a fair tax or some similar type of tax reform? Why will the legislature not address this matter? Cliff, I have been for going for a national sales tax for over 30 years. Before there was a bill, I came to this conclusion. I think that we should take all the tax off of production in America, completely take all of that off, abolish the IRS, put it over on consumption. We'd get a lot more production, we'd be a lot more competitive, it would create tens of thousands, in fact hundreds of thousands, and it would multiply into millions of jobs. It would bring back and repatriate the capital that's in foreign countries that doesn't come back because there's a tax disincentive, a tax liability to it. It'd give people their freedom. People would get 56% more in their paycheck on average. They'd pay less for goods that are on the shelf because it would drive out the embedded federal tax costs that are built within. And all of that, of course, you'd have to put the tax on consumption of goods and services. But there wouldn't be a tax on business inputs. So if a farmer went out and bought a combine, for example, for say $300,000, there would be no sales tax on the combine. If he bought a cap for his head, there would be a sales tax on that. That's for personal use, but we know that farmers don't buy caps, and neither do I. If they build a new house, there would be a tax on sales and the labor and the material. But if he sold that house as a used house the next hour, the next day, or the next year, no tax on that. So this all makes sense to me. It would be pretty difficult to lose the debate on the fair tax. I'm completely for it. I've been an original co-sponsor for a long time. And why doesn't Congress take this up? Political liability, for one. They're afraid. They don't want to take this on because they've been criticized by the other side. Brace up. We will be getting attacks from the Vilsack campaign attacking me for wanting to abolish all of the federal taxes that come on, that are taxed on productivity, and put it over instead on consumption. It does make the world a better place. It does simplify, and it takes a lot of this class envy and class warfare out of the equation. Now I see that maybe I do have another 30 seconds or a minute, because the handy Sarah has handed me the last question from Tracy. And Tracy, your question is,